BYD stands for Build Your Dream, and in India, it's more popular for its all electric buses and to an extent its electrical commercial MPV. But do you know that BYD also has an established business in electric taxis, forklifts, electric bicycles, SkyRail, and even electronic components used for smartphones and laptops?
And that brings us to this, the all-new BYD Atto 3. It's an all-electric crossover, and after the E6 MPV, this is the second BYD that you and I can walk into a showroom and buy today. It's already been launched in India in October with a price tag of Rs 33.9 lakh ex showroom, and the deliveries are set to commence in January 2023. But we are here in Chennai today to tell you how the BYD is to drive. But the Cyclone Mondos is trying to play spoil sport. But here we are, and we'll be focusing on the BYD's driving dynamics and tell you how the Atto 3 is to live with. Hello and welcome back to CarWale. I'm Bilal, requesting you to like, share and subscribe to the CarWale YouTube channel. And if you have any other queries regarding the BYD Atto 3, you can visit our website www.carwale.com, or you can write all the queries down in the comment section below and we'll try to answer them all. So we first saw the Atto 3 in October at its premiere, and we have done a detailed walk around video of it. So if you are interested to know about the Atto 3 in finer details, do visit our channel. You'll find the video around the Atto 3 walk around. We'll also done a separate video talking about its competition and the features it offers and everything in very finer details. But here in metal, I would like to tell you that the smart proportion, the design language that the BYD has introduced in the recent time, and the overall proportion with less tacky elements make the BYD Atto stand out, and that is in a good way.
It does qualify as a mid-size crossover in terms of size, but on paper the Atto 3 is longer and wider than the MG ZS EV, the Jeep Compass, and the Hyundai Creta or the electric Hyundai Kona. It might not have the street presence of, say, the Tata Harrier or the likes, but the unique styling of this BYD car in India does guarantee a second glance. You get it in 4 color options, red that you see here apart from the grey, white and blue. Our choice would be this red as it amps up the style quotient of the Atto 3 and makes it look more attractive. But you want an understated appearance with a hint of premium feel, the silver finish one would be the best bet.
Now on the inside of the Atto 3, what catches your attention is how the cabin is laid out in the most quirkiest of fashion. Each element has been put there to, like, it tells a story. For instance, the design of the air vents, which is quite unique and it's placed lower down. It has a tactile feel to it when you open or close it. The design of the speakers, which has an integrated door lock here. The spanner-like thing that Venkat says, this grab handle, it looks like a spanner, but it is quite a unique design. Lower down, another unique design is this guitar-like high tension strings, which is there to keep your bottle holder, in fact, on the door. How it will last in the longer run, because those tension wires could snap out anytime if in a longer run is what we think. Secondly, if you pay attention to the cabin, you'd notice that apart from telling a story, these elements have been paid attention to. So if you look at the speakers with the door lock, it has a rough surface to it. So when you're trying to open it, you get a better grip. And here on the center console, you have this quite a wide armrest with recesses on it, which feels comfortable when you're resting your arm on it. Open it up and it liberates a lot of compartment down there. No physical gearbox means you can also have a floating center console with space to keep your knickknacks down here. Even the USB and the 12 volt are hidden somewhere down. There's a wireless charger provided here. The gear lever, again, it's a cockpit like gear lever, which would be a good conversation starter among the youngsters in the car. But I would have preferred if you pulled the gear lever, it stayed in that position. And then if you have to put it in park, you just put it all the way up. But this design doesn't disappoint. The center console, it has a lot of button on it, because usually all of it are placed in a cascading console, but here it's placed on the center one, which controls the AC, the drive modes, the region modes. But the party piece of the entire Atto 3 cabin is this, the rotating 12.8-inch touchscreen, which can be moved vertical or horizontal, so you can have a landscape or a portrait mode. It can be operated right here from the button, or you can move it around from the steering wheel as well. The steering wheel has good tactile buttons on it. It looks nice, but beyond it, there's a small MID display which doesn't give out much, and you don't even need it because every information you need is right here. Secondly, talking about this rotating screen, we tried to manually wrestle it, and you can actually turn it around without using the button, but we would not recommend that. And if you have pressed a button and it's on its way, and if for instance you have a kid and it wants to stop it in between the screen, it just stops right there. Again, we wouldn't recommend that. Lastly, we come to the seats. Now up here, these seats have electronic adjustment for both the driver and the passenger. And although it doesn't have adjustment for the headrest, the layout of this seat, it reminds me of the bucket seats that you get in sports cars. So you have good bolsterings on the side. The headrest, even though not adjustable, it provides a proper support when you are accelerating, this being an electric car, when you do it quickly. And under thigh support or the support everywhere else is just the right amount. The quality of plastic used all here, it justifies the price tag, if not more.
Luckily, there's both USB-A and USB Type-C ports provided here. It's a boon in disguise, something many manufacturers don't appreciate it anymore.
Now this touchscreen, it might appear that it's running a Android based system, but BYD says that the entire interface or the OS, it's completely built in house. If you use it, the touchscreen is very quick to response, it's very intuitive. There are no bugs that we have encountered so far in the limited time that we have used it, and even the interface is very clean and you can navigate everything. What I really liked about this is it's got 360-degree camera, but the 360-degree camera is also showing what's underneath the car. It's something that you would find in the newest technology that Land Rover offered when you were off-road camera modes. But right here, it's one of the best 360-degree interface that I've ever seen in the recent cars.
At the time of driving the Atto 3, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay weren't available in our test drive car. But BYD says the two would be available from the first quarter of 2023 to the customers.
On to the second row of the Atto 3, and it's quite comfortable to get in and out. And what we like the most about the seats is the way it's positioned. It's not too tall, neither it's too low, and we really like the length of the seat base. It solves the problem of the under thigh support, and the it's being an electric, the batteries are placed underneath, so taller passengers would have some issue because the floor is placed slightly higher. But for me, for my frame, I'm 5.5, 170 centimeter. There's no issue under thigh support at all. As for the backrest, it has nice contour to it, so it's quite comfortable. Even the adjustable headrest, it's provide a right amount of support. As for the headroom, for my frame, it's just about right. And the shoulder room, you can actually seat 3 people here. The middle passenger might be slightly awkward because of the raised seat base and a hard back, but sitting 3 here is really possible, and it really solves the problem of jaga hai and jaga nahi argument. Secondly, the leg room is more than ample. You have practicality, like more strings at the back so that you can play while you're on the move. We also like how the sunroof extends all the way till here. I've never seen a car with a sunroof which goes all the way here, because it ends somewhere around here, and this being a large panoramic sunroof, it gives you a sense of grandness to it. Also, I like the fact that this circular cabin light, it's touch functional. You don't have to push it, or there's no separate button for it. And when the doors are open, which is right now, you have 2 brightness level, which is quite quirky, because when you close the door, the 2 level of brightness, it doesn't happen. It only happens when the doors are open. Practicality front, there are seat pockets here which has compartments to it, so that you can place your phone on one place, you can use the other for your paperwork or documents, and from other knickknacks as well. I also like the design of the air vents here. As I forgot to mention in the front seats, the air vents, if in a conventional car, they are slightly narrow, which means the outflow is in a single direction. Here, the circular vents, they have a vertical flow. So the outflow, you can feel the air vents throwing out air, the AC cooled air up here as well and lower as well. So the air vent design, it might appear quirky, but it's, if you think about it, it's quite practical. The Atto 3 is available in only one fully loaded trim. So if you want to know what features it offers, the creature comfort, the safety features, for example, it has 7 airbags. If you want to know all the specification of the Atto 3, you can visit our website www.carwale.com.
The Atto 3 has a boot space of 440 liters, which is more than ample for weekend luggage of 4. The cargo area is flat and isn't intrusive, making it fairly usable. And with the 60-40 split seats folded down, it can be extended up to 1340 liters.
Finally, we are behind the wheel of the Atto 3. But before we tell you how it is to drive, talk about its range and its performance, let's take a look at its powertrain first because it's another unique to the Atto 3. So you see, all other EVs, they make use of the batteries which are lithium-ion batteries. But here in the Atto 3, the Chinese car maker has introduced a unique battery pack which is made up of lithium iron phosphate. This battery, compared to the lithium ion one, is cheaper to produce. They have a longer cycle, which means you can actually charge it much more times than the lithium ion life cycle, and it also has a better safety value because BYD says that they have already tested it with a nail penetration test, which, as we know, if you test any other battery with a sharp nail, it would burst. But the lithium phosphate battery, they have a less tendency because it has less chemical reaction and less toxicity. Now, build your dreams being an electric expert. They have introduced something called as 8-in-1 module. What this module does is it combines all the essential electric cars hardware, which includes everything from a motor, the motor module, the onboard charger, even the reducers and uh, three or four more essential components into a one single module. And this module reduces space, it reduces weight, and it can be a modular thing which can be shifted from a sedan body style to a SUV body style. And this module has definitely helped the overall cause of the BYD Atto 3. So there are three drive modes here: eco, normal, and sport, as usual, which can be operated right from the lever that's provided on the center console. So in the eco mode, the power delivery is slightly subdued. The throttle actually feels heavier. Even if you want to go faster, you press the throttle, but it takes its time to build up speed. But it does build up speed quite nicely. In the normal, you won't feel any difference between the eco and the normal. The normal, again, the only difference would be that the throttle feels slightly livelier compared to the eco mode. In comparison, the sport mode is the place to be because if you want to feel that electric punch, again, it's not a neck snapping punch that you get in other EVs with at least 150, 180 horsepower, Mini for instance. But here the delivery is quite linear. You won't have that uh, punch in the gut feeling. But if you want to build up speed, like for instance, if you just tap on the throttle, the speed builds up quite linearly and smoothly, and there's a good way that the speed mounts up, which is definitely adding the fun factor in the Atto 3's character. Now, as for everyday drivability, the Atto 3 feels as conventional as any other electric car. You have good visibility all around. The When driving in bumper to bumper traffic, it won't fatigue you as much. The steering is light, and even the suspension has been tuned quite nicely for Indian road. It feels a very European setup, and it takes in all the bumps and creases with a good composure. But we haven't got a chance to take it in a really bad patches. But the patches that we have encountered here on the Chennai streets, the Atto 3 has been able to take it astride with good confidence. As for the steering, it goes just under 2.5 turns lock to lock, which means it's quick, it's very direct. There's barely any dead center, and driving around town, it's really easy to maneuver your way between the gaps. But the only way the steering would give you trouble would be when you're accelerating hard, and the tires would struggle to keep grip with the acceleration. But otherwise, the steering, it feels nice, be it driving around the city or around the highway. The tires, as I mentioned, are 215 section, 55 profile tires, 18-inch alloy wheels, and they provide a good, not only good appearance to the Atto 3 styling, they also have the aero design, and I think the ride quality hasn't affected with the 18-inch wheels that is used here. But if we had grippier tires here, the loss of traction when under hard acceleration would have been considerably reduced, and the road noise would have also reduced, because now you can actually hear the suspension and the tire noise. You can hear them more than you can feel it. So a grippier tires and a silent tires, which is dedicated for EV, would make a huge difference for everyday drivability. Now, another USP of the Atto 3 is the ADAS feature it offers, which I don't think is available in any other EV at the market right now. So you get the usual blind spot assist, you get the automatic braking, lane assist, adaptive cruise control, and the likes. We didn't get a chance to test all of them, but the lane keep assist works fine, and we also got a chance to experience another. If you heard the beeping sound right now, that was the lane assist. It works around about 60 km per hour. And we also experienced one more safety feature. For example, we were in the traffic, ready for a U-turn, left indicator on. Yet there was a biker coming from at a high speed from the left of the car, and the car itself, it steered out of the way, which was a nice feature to have, because it's useful for newer drivers. It's useful for attention as well. If you are driving drowsily, the car would definitely be a helping hand behind the wheel. As for the charging, which is the most important aspect for any EV, the Atto 3, it has a claim range of under ARAI of above 500 kilometers, which is a lot. In NEDC, it's around 400 kilometers. We have already established a range test method when we do a proper road test of our car back home, and we have already done a range test of few important electric cars as well. So you can check those out on our channel, on the CarWale YouTube channel, and we'll be waiting to do the same for the Atto 3. As for brake energy regeneration, there are only two levels here, standard and high. The standard is barely felt while driving, and the high is felt to a little extent. But there's no one pedal drive here. Apart from the three drive modes, BYD has also provided the Atto 3 with a snow mode. BYD says when charged using the 80 kilowatt DC fast charger, a depleted battery can be charged to 80% in less than an hour. The Atto 3's batteries support fast charging of up to 120 kilowatt, theoretically reducing wait time even more. With a vehicle to load function, the BYD Atto 3 becomes a versatile tool too, with the ability to power appliances for a small picnic or double up as a generator alternative for power tools. Almost 36 lakh rupees price tag might seem a lot for an electric crossover at first, but the Atto 3 is a lot of car for its price. It offers a bigger battery pack than a competition and a high capacity charging support, which means less range anxiety and lesser time waiting for it to be charged. It's also practical and spacious on the inside and offers loads of features. Even the performance from its almost unique electric powertrain is on par. Lastly, it's also high on safety, offering ADAS functions, 7 airbags, and scoring 5 stars in the Euro NCAP crash test, something that buyers have started paying more attention to.
The Atto 3 will attract buyers who would otherwise have option of the Hyundai Tucson, Jeep Compass, Volkswagen Tiguan or the Skoda Kodiaq.
So all in all, the BYD Atto 3 has got a lot going for it. It's like one of those cars that when it enters the market, it forces the competition to up their game. BYD has already received close to 1500 bookings for it, but we think that it's a tiny step in a million-mile journey. That's all for today. If you think that if we have missed out anything telling you about the BYD, probably because of this weather, you can write all your queries to us in the comment section below and we'll definitely address them all. This is Bilal signing off. Until next time.